Greetings everyone, and welcome to the Planet Ripologues. Today's log 10, Setbacks, begins with a pretty ominous image of Minnow's machine opening underwater. I enjoy making covers like this, ones that aren't literal, just channeling the abstract spirit of a lot of album and CD covers you'd see 20 years ago. The Dauphin's small size and compact shape make it one of the most graceful zoots ever designed by the Navy. Its limbs' range of mobility and connection to the pilot's brain allow them to move as freely and precisely as a fine-tuned set of prosthetics. It's more of an exoskeleton than a vehicle, obeying the brain's commands as responsively as any body part. The Dauphin has a lot of tricks: magnetic feet, capture foam, sleep darts, and a targeting system that warns you not to zap somebody with cyborg vitals. Don't want to shut down someone's pacemaker or artificial heart. Naturally, with a name like the Dauphin, you'd also want it to perform underwater. Let's see how it does. Ugh, so corny. They flood the training room for the next part of the demonstration, but are interrupted when the lights go out from rats chewing the wiring. It's a little scary, as Minnow has to stand there in the dark, but she can deal, until a ceiling panel falls on her. And just like that, she's right back where Andrea died. The ruins coming down around her, Andrea's final words, and Minnow just keeps sinking deeper into her own head, screaming and flailing as if she's drowning. "What are you waiting for? Drain the room, you fools! Get her out!" I really like this bit where she removes her helmet and the zoot just goes limp, dead. Seeing the Dauphin as an extension of Minnow's body, this could be her dissociating. Please don't ever pull your helmet off that quickly again, okay? Disconnecting yourself from the Dauphin that forcefully will give you seizures, or worse. They won't blame you. A lot of things went awry today. It would be unfair of them to say it's your fault. I'm still getting used to this, people not blaming me for everything that goes wrong. As Danny predicts, the dignitaries in Sturgeon are actually very gracious about the day's fiasco and want to give Minnow another try, though Sturgeon is still skeptical about the whole program. "We're in an arms race. These pirates aren't playing around. They don't bother with tranquilizer darts or capture goop. These are toys. We need weapons. We need machines that can tear their machines to pieces." What would you have me do? Swap out the foam for miniguns? Strap a nuke to it? This is another early Rippleism. It's the only time nukes are mentioned in the series, and I wish it wasn't there, because nukes just don't fit Ripple, at least not the modern kinds we make. Later volumes contain several mentions of a similarly devastating device called a tsunami bomb. We never see one go off, but just the name is intimidating enough and more setting appropriate. My personal favorite bit in this scene is Sturgeon calling Minnow soldier. Even though he paternalistically believes Minnow shouldn't be on the Pris today and was only tricked into coming aboard by Honora, he won't disrespect Minnow to her face. But Honora will. Minnow blurts out something about Honora's brother, who was forcefully recruited by the pirates and had to be put down by Sturgeon. We don't know exactly what went down. Could have been a hostage situation, a bomb threat, but it's a bitter enough history that Honora calls Minnow the R slur. Yeah, this is the second and last time the word is ever used in this series, which if you read the first two volumes as the one book they were written to be, means the word only comes up in the first part of the story, which feels right to me. Is that, oh god, things seem to be getting better, but nothing's changed. It's just like the beginning moment, as Honora continues to verbally abuse Minnow. For all his talk about not understanding Minnow, Nathan is the one to tell Honora about her experience losing Andrea and almost drowning. I had no idea something like that happened to her. She's been through a lot. She's never told me about this. Maybe she was afraid you would flip out on her like you did just now. That's not fair. I wouldn't. You don't understand. I can't let her mess this up. I'd better make sure she isn't bashing her own head against a wall. Wait, what? Why would she? Yeah, Minnow's been here for a couple months, and Honora doesn't know her at all. As Danny explains in the next scene, Honora's been so invested in the success of the Dauphin that she basically sees Minnow as a piece of it. The thing Honora doesn't understand about people like us is, we sort of have our own language. I'm not sure I follow. Almost everything we say means something slightly different to us than it does to other people. That doesn't mean everything we say is wrong. I greatly enjoy the detail that Minnow and the party sympathetic to her in these scenes are all cyborgs. Nathan with his eye implant, Sturgeon with both his eyes and possibly other upgrades, and Danny with the 3 fingers that she lost in an accident, changing her life forever. In contrast to Minnow's design, I always meant for Danny to be startlingly beautiful. As implied by Hack's earlier one-sided conversation with Kelsey, cyborgs are so common in this world that fully organic, fleshy people are fetishized. Being all meat makes you more beautiful. And Danny could have been a model for a time, when she was fully organic, but being autistic herself, she also had other interests, liked using her hands on machines, on cyborgs, One day, a heavy machine fell on her hand, crushing her digits, and doctors just told her we can make them pretty or we can make them work. So her choices were fingers that would never move again, but at least could look nice in photos, or undesirable robot ones. An invisible disability that functionally impairs her but still allows some opportunity, or a visible one that restores some ability but she's treated worse. This ultimatum between beauty and function is just an extra layer of humiliation cyborgs are subjected to in Minno's world. There's no reason bionics like Denny's hand or Minno's limbs or Nathan's eye can't be beautiful, colorful, sleek, but this early in the series they're made to choose, as if they should consider themselves lucky just to function. Thanks to 9101 for pointing out that layer. Of course, Denny chose to become a cyborg, ending any future modeling prospects. I try to stay in my lane with these books. There's an argument that a lack of representation is preferable to being represented badly. So I focus on people with disabilities because that's what I know, and trust myself to not accidentally marginalize further. But there's an intersectionality to Danny that I didn't even notice until a fan pointed out to me. That Danny being undesirable in Ripple's modeling industry has strong parallels with women of color being pushed out in real life for not fitting Eurocentric beauty standards. Danny even has straight hair and she can't win. While within the text, Danny is rejected for a disability and not her ethnicity, the subtext of colorism is still there. Like many good things in Planet Ripple, it's not something I planned. It just worked out that way and gave Danny more depth. Anyway, it sounds like Minno will be returning to the Bellina after all, though not without an apology. While Lenora is older and more street smart than Minno, she's less emotionally mature, but she's at least able to acknowledge that here. You've been working so hard to make my dream come true, a future where fewer people are hurt, and I've hurt you to get there. I can't expect to go about saving other people if I can't even protect you from myself. The Dauphin is just a tool. You've made this happen, not the Dauphin. And somehow along the way I forgot to separate the two. So far, Volume 2 has just been character moments and build-up, but it's the calm before the storm. While I was able to split 1 and 2 evenly enough, most of the first book and the first couple chapters of this one are setup, because pacing-wise they're the first 2 acts of a 3-act structure. So if the last 2/3 of Volume 2 feel like the last 1/3 of a movie or screenplay, that's because they essentially are. The next couple log videos are gonna be all action, just you wait. That's it for today. Check out my books on Amazon and itch.io, and my Patreon page to get videos like this early, your name in the credits, behind the scenes content, a patron Discord server, signed copies of Planet Ripple, and maybe even your own LEGO Rewind episode. See you next time on the Planet Ripple Logs. Toodles!